No question, no sir. I wrote sir. No question, sir. In that part, no question.
Okay, so it's now recording. Can you see where it's
Yes, sir. It's recording, sir.
recording. Okay, so please remind me because today at the very beginning I had the technical trouble, so because of that. But it's okay that we have discussed this thing last class, so it's okay. Okay, so are you recording? As somebody is asking before. Okay, so thank you very much. I couldn't see those things. Okay, so it's now recording now. Okay, so from the I just as a summary, from the source to the destination, we can send all the things depending upon the header and tailor. Only the link layer, they produce the tail, because the tail contain the parity code. Okay, parity code, so that in the envelope we can see only the top and bottom. Okay, so in the parity code is, it count, the parity code, it count all the numbers and calculate with the code and calculate a 0 or 1 something. Okay, so it checks if it is 1, that means all the codes are okay. Now we need to read the code from the very beginning. Okay, so they read the tail and check that all the codes are okay or not. Then if it is okay, then they'll start reading here, because all the things are in millisecond, microsecond, or nanosecond. Because of that, this parity code and other things are very important. Otherwise, if you check and find some error and then just throw, it will not be efficient. Okay, so this is the case. Now moving forward. Okay, moving on. For today's class, maybe the topics are not that much big, and the things are not that much complicated, but I'll ask you to write down maybe 10 things, and you have to write down. Okay, so I'll go a little bit slower so that you can write today. So if you write these things, it is a revision of the networking thing, but I'll give some of the not this slide, in next slide, some of the keywords. Okay, those keywords, I believe that you don't have to memorize, but you have to understand. And also, it's not like that I have to give it to the final exam. Okay, so please write down at least in your life once. Okay, so those things. So in today's class, I feel that you need little bit more time to write. Okay, so even if you want, you can write down on the blue part. It's also okay, because it's for your understanding. Okay, so in the first cases, I'll before starting the next topic, actually I'll revise all the thing. I told you that at the very beginning I move little bit slower, so now you know all the part. You know what is layer, you know what is protocol, you know the packet switching, circuit switching, you know LAN topology, then the roles and everything. So if I give something now, some keywords now, it will, you can now connect all the things, because there are so many things, 7 layers, then many topologies, then two kind of, so many combinations are there. Okay, so I'll go a little bit like little faster. Okay, like I'll give the bowling of Mashrafi Mustoja, not yet, but like little bit faster bowling. Okay, so previously it was like a spin bowling. Okay, so in this slide I want to discuss about the 2 benefit of the networking, why we want the networking. Okay, so first benefit is that the information can be distributed very quickly. Okay, so information distributed very quickly. So this is the one thing, that in email, in video, we can distribute the information very quickly. Okay, SMS. Today I just say that, okay, I'll take the class from 5 p.m. with different links. So now 108 students are there with different link. So can you imagine? So that the communication with 108 students with one message is enough for me. Okay, so communication, like the benefit of the networking is that information distributed very quickly. So if you want to send the information very quickly that yes, tomorrow is the Eid, the moon is seen, has been seen. So those kind of information you can disseminate very quickly. Okay, or the earthquake is coming. Okay, tsunami is coming. You want to disseminate to save the life. So this is the communication purpose. Saving the money means you can share the information, share the resources. So sharing the resources means I put all the things in one form. Okay, so one Google form enough to take all of your information, all of your the feedback, okay, all of your like a question answer, something like that. Otherwise I have to give each and everyone one page, okay, one page of paper, and today it will be around 10 question, so 10 pages I have to give you. Okay, so here I can reduce the money from my computer. I can share the things and everybody, because I have to create only one form, and with that one form you can utilize. So this is a huge savings of money. So why I give these things and repeat this thing again? Because you will be the designer, so you have to think how to reduce the money. So it's not only the reducing the money. Sometime it will be like that. If I ask you to sometime it will be like that, that if everyone wants to be the server, then everyone computer should be on all the time, and something like that, the service, giving you the service. So that time you have to think about the energy as well. Okay, so something like that. Now there is only one server, the Google server, and everybody is now become the client. So from the server perspective, we reduce 108 server. So that means we reduce 108 server electricity. And if you multiply the electricity or convert the electricity to the carbon emission, so that time it will be like you are reducing the carbon emission. So how to calculate the carbon emission things, my research area. So like if you the carbon emission calculation is something like that. So if you stop one computer, that means this computer can take suppose 1 kilowatt, like 100 kilowatt per 1 hour. Okay, so in 1 hour, suppose, okay, 1 hour 100 kilowatt it consume. So now you save one computer. That means this 100 kilowatt is not consumed by one computer. That means this 100 kilowatt should be produced from somewhere, and the electricity most of the cases is produced by coal. In our country, coal, natural gas is very limited, then the hydro, but most of the cases coal and the thermal, okay, thermal turbine from there. So to make the thermal and the coal, we are we are burning some coal, okay, and that burning coal, like 100 kilowatt, to produce 100 kilowatt, we had to use maybe 1 kg of coal. Okay, so now we reduce the 1 kg of the coal, and with that we can save like the carbon emission. So this is the calculation. Sometime there is another term called carbon rebate. Okay, carbon tax. Okay, so it looks like that the industry, they can claim that this year we save this much of electricity, please reduce our tax. Okay, because we reduce the carbon emission, something like that. So this is a fantastic area. So we can use the machine learning and other uses pattern things over there. I told you that maybe today's last portion, somebody knocked me that what is my area of research. Okay, those who are working with me, they know, but those who are not, I am teaching the networking, but my core research area is energy networking, okay, or artificial intelligence of energy, or machine learning for the energy, something like that, or blockchain for energy, or game theory for energy networking. Okay, so I am doing the energy networking, smart grid, something like that. Okay, so as I told you that for that we need these things. Okay, so CPUs and hard disks can be pulled together to create a more powerful machines. So this is also one kind of example, maybe I'll discuss this thing at the last of the semester. Maybe I'll give you very teeny tiny example of the cloud computing. Over that time, I'll say these things as well. Okay, so this communication and the sophisticated networking nowadays we are using. Okay, so this is actually the benefit. So next one is the application. We already know the applications and from the things. So I don't ask you to write down these things. So like email, chatting, like chatting means all kind of social networking things. That means Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Messenger, WhatsApp, Telegram, Beep, Signal, Viber, Skype. Okay, whatever things are there. Okay, my phones are there are tons of the things are there. Okay, so websites, hundreds of websites are there. Sharing document and pictures. Yeah, you can share the document and pictures. These are the applications. Okay, then accessing a centralized database of information. Then the mobile network. Okay, so mobile network means the mobile telecom. Okay, telco network. They provide this service of the internet through their mobile network. Okay, mobile workers. So over here, I would like to ask you to write down what is subnet and host. Okay, so there is one term. This is a keyword. I believe that you can see this keyword inside your router. There is a term called subnet. Okay, so subnet or subnet mask is there. Okay, so we'll discuss subnet and subnet mask later on in the network layer later on, but just try to know that subnet is a keyword, host is a keyword. So subnet means it carries messages from host to host. Okay, so whenever one host is there, another host is there. So host and destination, like two hosts. Here we say I have not say source and destination because from the book the host means end user. So source and destination means end user. I told you before. Okay, these are the end user, end point of the network. Okay, so the end point of the network, whenever we connect this one through our router and other things, that time whenever we have the connection, we said that this is a sub network. That means subsidiary network. Okay, sub network. So we have a bigger net, but whenever we said that I want to send the data from me to Sadman 115, I can see his name now. So to Sadman. So during that time, me and Sadman will be we will create the subnet. So this is the case that carries message from one host to another host. And host means end user, end machine. End user means user, like human being will not be connected, rather than the device belongs to the human being. Okay, as I told you that this is a smart device because the belonger is smart. Okay, the human being belongs to the smart user is end user. Okay, so this is the case. So any end user can be source, any end user can be destination. Okay, so this is the case, carries the message. It made of telecommunication lines, circuit channels. So lines, only the subnet create the lines, and switches of the elements, router and IMPs and everything are there. Okay, just try to know these keywords, subnet and host. So red mark things are the keywords we'll use. Is it clear? Can I proceed? Because I don't ask, like, let you to ask that, because can I proceed? Thank you. Okay, so I can proceed maybe. Yeah. So next one, because every slide there is something and you have to write. Okay, so please don't ask me to move forward unless you have something. Okay, something to write. So design layer issue, I put some of the design layer issue here. So these are the things, those who are thinking about research things, those who are thinking about the designing cases. So these are the research topics still there. So you can think about. Okay, so these are the design issue in the layers. We have several layers. This is 30 years old, but still we have issues. Okay, so first issue is the mechanism for connection establishment. So now, if the connections are depend on only the cable connection, there is no problem. Okay, cable connection means dedicated connection to your home is fantastic. And dedicated connection means you have to like take the wire from pole to pole, or take the wire underground, something like that. It's really costly. Okay, so that is okay. But nowadays we don't believe on those cable line. Rather than we believe on wireless portable device. So whenever wireless things are there, just count down in your home, because some of you have several devices, laptop, mobile phone, two mobile phone, your father has two mobile phone, mother has two, like sister. So in your home, maybe like 10 to 15 wireless devices there. Okay, then you have to think about the connection, like mechanism for connection establishment, that who will get priority, who will get, because everybody is who is now chatting and who is now doing the meeting, like boss, your father maybe the boss, the home office, he's the boss, and you are giving the exam. So everybody are now in the high priority job. So it's now the job for the network engineer to make a sophisticated connection to everyone. And because of the research is going on, really. And thing is that whenever your father has priority, your sister has priority, your mother has priority, you have priority, that time, whenever the decisions are there, you will think that, yes, we'll spend some money for this quality. So even the engineers are make a device with very costly device that they say that, yes, this is a magic box, magic router. You will get 100% sophisticated things. Buy. They will buy. So this is the case. Okay. So they will buy. So if we can make this, because already demands are there, so that these challenges are still there. Because of that, demands are there. If they are satisfied, maybe they are not talking about the television reception, because Akash and other, like all the dish antennas connections are there. They know that, okay, that we are just watching the movies, but this can interrupt my job. Okay, so demands are here. Not demand, we don't need demand in the television dish antenna connection. Okay, then the rules for data transfer, that means the protocols. Okay, rules for data connection means all the protocol, how the protocols will be there. So if the video connections, audio connections, so in your home somebody is doing the online classes with video connections, somebody is tutoring, so to whom I'll give the priority. So this kind of things should be there. Okay, then the error control. So error mechanism, if there is no error mechanism, that means you are moving, something that moving on, these kind of things are there. And sometimes it says that the base invention of Windows operating system is the progress bar. It's really addictive. Okay, that 10%, 20%, 70%, and 80%, 95, 96, 97, 99, 99, 99.1, 99.2, 99.99, something like that. And this is so addictive. And sometime in Windows 98, then Windows 7, even Windows 8, actually those progress bar does not have any connection with the real progress. Okay, it's just moving on. It's a movie, and sometimes they make some memes because it doesn't have any connection with the progress bar. It's like a movie, it's like a video, and to let the user be there. Okay, so because of their downloading speed and the computer speed, the time sometimes take 30 minutes, sometimes takes 5 hours. Okay, but the things are a little bit moving, and sometimes they said that the base invention of Windows computer is that progress bar. And nowadays so many other peoples, they are also using those things. Okay, another thing is the refresh rate. There is nothing related with the refresh rate. It does not improve the speed of your computer. Okay, please believe. Okay, so there is like these two invention. Okay, so right button, right click and put the refresh, is not, it will not work. Okay, so this error control is very much important for the designer. Then fast sender, fast sender, like that bottleneck things over here. I said, like your connection is very speedy. In my home, I have fiber optic connection. So this is very speedy, but in your home, you're now checking all the thing by a mobile speed. So this is actually, we have to make some balance over there. So if I even send fast speed, it should be minimized somewhere else so that it can be. So in here, 111, including me, is there. So I am the server, I am sending very fast, but somebody has very fast like me, somebody has moderate, somebody has small. So as a network engineer, we have to make some machine learning things, so make the proper utilization of the bandwidth. So this is the case. Otherwise, the bandwidth utilization and other things will not be appropriate. Okay. Inability of processor to accept long messages. Okay. So sometimes if I send long message, but it says that no, packet size is very small, and or the segment is very small, something like that. Okay. Then routing in the case of multiple path. Sometime if your system is not that much smart, that time, like if you think about the torrent is a very sophisticated, though the torrent is the name of torrent is illegal, okay, but the peer-to-peer technology is sophisticated thing. Okay, so name of Bitcoin is illegal, but blockchain is sophisticated thing. In the new era, the blockchain will like blockchain will cover everything. Okay, so I love blockchain. Okay, so just think like bit like the peer-to-peer networking. From the peer-to-peer networking, we have the blockchain things. So from the blockchain is a open laser thing. So I'm not go deeper, but just think that multi-routing means what? If you have multi-routing things, that then your data can be sent very smoothly. Okay, so the way you can watch the peer-to-peer television. So something that watching the Copa American or European Cup from the online television. So in normal internet television, in the normal case, if user is more, your connection will be less. Like the speed will be shared. Okay, but in torrent, if the user is more, your connection will be more better, because every torrent user will share his resources, something like that. So this kind of sophisticated connection will be there. And in the torrent, you can download the movie and everything in a minute, in a second. Okay, but in normal case, it can take the 1 terabyte can take 1 hour, 2 hours, so something like that. Okay, so the multi routing is also another point. So I give all the detailed things and everywhere, so just try to write down, okay, those things. But the thing is, these are the challenges, and we said that even with that challenges, we make this OSI model, okay, open system interconnection model. And this open system interconnection is developed by international standard organization. Okay, so ISO and OSI, you know that palindrome, na? This call is OSI, ISO. Okay, so open system interconnection, international system organization. I love these two names. Okay, so the benefit is that the first benefit, that not limited to the single vendor. That means monopoly business, we cut the monopoly business. Otherwise, we have to pay all the money to the IBM or something, Apple or something like that. Okay, so the monopoly business are not there. So this is the first benefit. And second benefit, of course, the super like fastest benefit is that interconnection of different systems. So different open systems. So even if you use a Linux, OpenBS, or Raspberry Pi with Linux, whatever, you can access this video from website or Zoom anywhere, any places. We don't care that whether what kind of operating system you are using. Okay, so this is because of this in open system interconnection. Okay, this phenomenon, that means open source phenomenons are there. sometimes I said that open source is very, because I am a supporter of open source system. And open source means here every innovator shared their knowledges. So sometimes some innovator is thinking that, sir, if I share my knowledge, how I'll do my business? So think about the COVID vaccine. Okay, so if you made the vaccine and if you put the license for yourself, then you cannot save the community. So if you think about the community, you have inside of you, you have to have that empathy. At the first class, I told you that the empathy should be there, and from there, the open source systems are there. So if you are clever enough, you can do the business even beside community work. Okay, and because of that, Louis Pasteur made the antibiotic, and he put them as a like copy. There is no copyright or IP, intellectual properties, okay, for Louis Pasteur antibiotic. But somebody says that if Louis Pasteur put the antibiotic for the copyright or IP, this kind of things, okay, monopoly business, he could be the richest person in the world, okay, even more than Nobel Prize. He can give even the prize. And sometimes they ask that why you didn't put the copyright things. They said that no, this is for the community. So sometimes this open system or open things are there for your heart, because sometimes maybe after your 40s, after you become billionaire, after you achieve crore of taka, okay, what you will do with the crore of taka during the lockdown? Will you buy the car? The car will be in the garage. You cannot move it out. Will you buy? Will you want to move outside? No. So that time it will suffer you that what I have done. Yes, I did something for the community. I did something for I wrote some paper and put it for open community, that please read and spread my thinking to others. So this open source is there. And sometimes with my research group, I usually said that the researcher, if you want to try to be selfish, okay, selfish in other mind. So researcher means what? Like the researcher means we want to enrich our knowledge. Knowledge means the light, okay, light means the candle light. So if I enrich my knowledge, that means I just put on the light on my own candle, okay. So this is one candle, so I am getting the knowledge or light of one candle. So if there is another candle, there is another student, so if I put the light to another one, now for me I am getting two candles, okay. So I am getting the light of two candles. I don't care about that student, whether he is knowledgeable, he is taking my knowledge or not, that 40 years knowledge I am giving all the things, not I don't care. But if I put another, I am getting three light of three knowledge. So the more I have so many fountain pen, I love fountain pen, okay. So the more candle I put, no green, okay, I have the green skin, so the green become transparent, okay. So the more candle I have, the more light, okay, the more student I teach, I coach, the more light I'll get, okay. So this is my selfishness, okay. So maybe the student will be light automatically, okay, sir, you get all the PhD from there, and with that PhD knowledge, this light on me, okay, I give the light. And he got all the PhD things, no problem, I am getting the light, because I know knowledge is evolving. So he cannot do anything the past, rather than he can do all the things with the new kind of things, okay. So for that reason, I'm saying that open system is I'm talking little bit other thing, because as a designer you have to know, because these perspectives all are in a designing mode. So you can be a entrepreneur with billionaire entrepreneur, or you can be a entrepreneur with millionaire, and some part for the community, okay. So this is the my thing that community means your family member, okay. So negative aspect is that whenever it is open system, anybody can use, anybody knows your ins and out. Okay, so because of that, it's less secure because everybody knows your loopholes. So it's little bit less secure. So because of that, all the open system things, we have to think about the closing part. But for me, I feel that this is not true all the cases. The thing is that Linux is open system, but because of this open system, everybody can improve Linux. And because of that, all the hackers improve Linux. And because of that, Linux has become the safest system now, because all the hackers know that this is my system. And if it is not my system, I will hack this way. So I have to put the loopholes, I have to fix the loopholes of mine. Okay, so all the hackers make a very sophisticated system, and you know that all the servers are run by Linux system, and this is open source. They don't believe Windows. This is the case, okay? And if it is not for single vendor, so because of that, other vendor will give other things. So because of that, sometimes it's become little bit less stable, because your camera is from Logitech, your mouse is from Dell, your keyboard is from maybe Logitech, your monitor is from HP. So if you connect all of them together, maybe a little bit unstable. But if everything is from Apple, definitely it is stable, because they make all the things by themselves, but costly, and one vendor will be there. So there are something, okay? So whenever you're designing for the community, these things are there. You have to put your more knowledge for security, more knowledge for these stable things, okay? So this is the case. I'll go a little bit faster, okay? So now, because already 6:15. So 6:17, okay, 6:15. So some terms, okay, I told you some terms are there. One term is entities, okay? Just write down the active element in each layer. That is all, okay? Entities means active element in each layer. So application layer is there, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, physical layer, okay? So without physical layer, other layer has some responsibility. That responsibility is known as entities, okay? Active element, that means in the application layer, I have to send one email. So email entities will be there. Then that email will be should be like segmented. So the email segmentation should be there in that transport layer. So we call that one as the segmentation entity for email in transport layer, okay? So these entities are there with the, because we have to create the protocol beforehand. So we said that if you want to call transport layer, knock them with that entity, okay? Something like that. This is nothing but the process or the intelligent IO chip, something like the process. Each of the layer has some process. We call that process as entities in the technical terms. What is pair entities? This is PWR. I told you before, this pair and PAIR is looks like a same thing. PAIR, okay? Okay, so this is like a paired things, okay? Or Hindi pair. So something like that. Pair, PWR, pair is means, just look, where is my mouse? Just look that here application layer has one entities. Here in the host one, host A, host B. So this application layer entity and this application layer entity is known as pair entity, okay? Transport layer, this host A transport layer entity and host B transport layer entity is known as the pair entity, okay? So entity in same layer on different machine. Entity is same layer in different machine. Is pair entity. Just write once, okay? This is pair entities. What is service? Service means each layer provides services to the neighboring layer above and below. Okay, neighboring layer above and below means here it will be below, here it will be above. Okay, so service provider means here, just if you want to write, if the service provider is N1, That means the next layer will be the service user will be n+1. Okay, so if the service provider is data link layer, that means service user will be network layer. So this is n+1. If the service provider is n, so service user will be n+1. So this is the case. From here I will get the service. From here I will get the service. So it can be the neighboring layer. Okay. So sometimes it says the higher layer. Higher layer means n. If I am n+1 will be higher. It doesn't mean top or below. Okay. So don't think about the top and below. So sometimes this is like a top. This is top. This is below. Sometimes this is top. This is below. Okay. So it's depend upon this number. So service provider means the layer name n1 who will give the service provider, and service user is the n+1. That means one layer above. Okay. And service access point place between n+1 can access service offered by n. That means service access point is in between these two layers. Okay. So I cannot say that application layer will send the service to session layer, and we cannot say that n+1 is session layer and the service action point is in between. It cannot be. Okay. So it should be within the neighboring layer. So because of that, we have a service access point, SAP, something like that. So is it okay? Should I move forward, or do you need some time to write? Please say. I need 50. So now I got at least 20. I need 50, at least 50 response. Because sometimes you said, sir, because these are the terms, so it's not like a memorization things. But if you understand, you can write easily. Okay, okay, I got the 50. So thank you very much. Like this is very straightforward things. Okay, next one. This is very very interesting. Okay, if I read once, you will get the things. I'll talk about connection oriented and connection less. Okay, so connection oriented service and connection less service. So connection oriented is because these two will give you the answer. So connection oriented means before data is sent. Okay, before sending, the service from the sending computer must establish a connection with the receiving computer. That means dedicated connection should be there. Though we are sending packet switching, but we should have a circuit. Okay, dedicated connection should be there. It's called connection oriented. And connection less is data can be sent at any time by service from the sending computer. Anytime. We don't need the connection. the way like anytime the sender can come and check. So now with these two definition, my question is downloading a music, okay, from the internet connection oriented or connection less? Anyone please say.
Connection less.
So connection oriented.
Okay, write down.
Connection oriented, sir.
Why connection oriented?
So we need connection to download music.
Because music is real time. So video is real time. So if there is connection less, you cannot hear the music. Okay. So to hear the music like perfectly, we need connection oriented service. Okay. So my like lecture is to you is the connection oriented. So Zoom is giving the connection oriented. Now tell me, SMS is connection oriented or connection less?
Connection less.
Connection less, because SMS can be sent anytime and you just move to your mobile phone and check. So SMS is put all the things in the server, anybody can check anytime. So it's connection less. Okay, so I'm just giving the answer so that you can check. So video real time, anything real time is connection oriented. So if you want a real time chatting, so that time we need connection oriented. Okay, if you need a music connection or downloading music, connection oriented. Then downloading like watching YouTube video, connection oriented. This Zoom, connection oriented. Then Facebook is connection less, because you have the connection, the other person should not have to be connected. Okay, something like connectionless. Email is connectionless, something like that. Okay, I believe that you understood this one. Okay, so this is very sophisticated because we'll discuss this one later as well. Okay, the current connection oriented is a modern topic, is called TCP/IP, and connectionless is little bit older, is called UDP service. Okay, we'll talk this one later, but both of the service are there. Okay, so this is the case. I believe that I can move forward. Just say another one. Anyone say just yes, sir? I believe that he could answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
We'll
sir.
proceed.
Yeah. I'll finish very quickly.
Yes, sir.
This one is very interesting as well. Okay, just see without reading this one. Okay, just see here. We have transport layer, then network layer, then we have transport layer, network layer. This is sending computer, this is receiving computer. So from the sending computer, it should be from 4 to 3. This is up. And from receiving computer, it should be from bottom to up. Like this is up. Okay, this is bottom to up. So look, first from the sending computer, it will request, because I need something. Just receiving computer means just think that this is the server. Okay, so I am requesting some part. So from the transport layer, I am requesting that send me the Google page. Okay, www.google page. I am asking this one to the server. Okay, so that server will indicate that this request is indicate to the server in the transport layer. Okay, that this Habib is now asking for requesting for www.google.com. Then the server will respond that this is www.google.com. Please give it to Habib. Then this network layer confirm that this is www.google.com. Habib, please see. Then I can see. This is the case. If you write www.google.com, these 4 things happening every time. Okay. So first request. So entity, I told you entity, that means the process of each layer. So entity wants the service to do some work. Okay. Request. So wants to do some work. Okay. Then it will, the network layer. So transport layer asks, request the network layer indicate entity is to be informed about the event, that we need some event, make some event, send the HTTP very fast. Then the response, entity respond to an event, same, they make the event, then the entity confirm the request. Okay, so the things are there. Okay. Sorry to say, but this entity word, event word are the keywords. Even request indicate. So if you right click and go to the task manager, or in the Linux, you have so many, you can see that event ID and other things. So you can kill the event, then request the event, indicate the event. These are the keywords. So if someone wants to be the server engineers and something, so you need to know these terms. Okay. So request means request an event. So entity wants a service. Then indicate means inform one event. Then response means response one event, and confirm the event, something like that. Just know this 4 terms. Okay, how it's working. So I'll show it again once. So this sending computer send one request to the network layer. The network layer is connected. Okay, so the network layer indicate to the receiving server's transport layer again, and other layers are there. Okay, from their transport layer, because this layer know only the upper layer. Okay, so that layer will respond and this layer will confirm. Okay, so this is the case. Same thing happened to other layer as well. So here they request and they are waiting for the confirm. So application layer, actually the application layer wait for www.google.com. So presentation layer send all the thing back to here to the Google server and get all the things and confirm over there, something like that. Okay, so I believe you understood here. If you have any question, ask me, otherwise I'll move again. Maybe only one slides are left. Thank you. You don't have query. Okay. Here, as I told you, we have indicates and something. All the things all together known as primitives. Okay. Service primitives. Okay. These are the primitives. So we call this one a primitive. So each of the layer has 4 kind of primitives, because sometimes transport layer can indicate and respond. Sometimes transport layer can request and confirm. Okay. Something like that. Okay. So all the 4 primitives are there for each of the layer. These are called like a primitives. Okay. So just read with me. Afterwards, give the answer. In this slide, a set of layer and protocol. A set of layer and protocol. We have given some protocol. Okay, is called as network architecture. Okay, so if I say that, what is the network architecture of 3G mobile phone? We have, that means a set of layer and protocols are there. What is the network architecture of Wi-Fi? What is the network architecture of Bluetooth? What is the network architecture of sensor network? Okay, so we call this one as network architecture. Whenever we call this, and we actually indicate a set of protocols, a specific set of protocols. Okay, so this set of protocols are hierarchical. Okay, so there are some hierarchy. So network are organized as layer. We know this thing to reduce the design complexity. Each layer offers some service. We know these things to the higher layer. We know the term higher layer because each layer has, if the service is there, we are sending the service from layer N. Okay, we send the service from layer N to layer N plus 1. So this is the case. Okay, layer N to layer N plus 1. So because of that, we set higher layer. So what is service? Service can be connection oriented and connectionless. Okay, so just write service, connection oriented or connectionless. Primitives, 4 kind of primitives operations are there: request, indicate, response, confirm. Finish. We know these things. What is interface? Between the primitives, the arrow mark, whatever the arrow marks are there, these are the interface. We make the interface. Okay, so define as the primitives and service, the lower layer will offer to the upper layer. So with the interface, whether I'll request or indicate or response or confirm, this is actually known as interface. Something like that. I believe if you finish, just answer my question. I believe that you know all the things because I have discussed these things already. Okay, so if you finish, just say that yes sir, because it's very straightforward. I'll finish the class as well. And last slide is that is not the slide. Last 2 question is your general knowledge. Okay, any question up to this? Anyone just say anything, because try to understand these terms, because you will need these terms in your whole life. Okay, so no need to memorize service, primitives, interface. You'll be in the hell. Okay, just try to understand. Okay, these 4 are primitives, and these primitives will be like service for each of them. So what is the main things? Okay, I believe if you go revise these things again in the next class, I'll revise review all the things at the very beginning. Okay, the last slide for today's class is very straightforward, because some of you are confused with bandwidth. Okay, so because of that, I put the bandwidth things. So write down the justification why is 10 megahertz is equal to 10 Mbps, or sorry, 100 megahertz is equal to 100 Mbps. If you think yes, right? If you think no, then justify why. Justification is there. If 100 Mbps is equal to 100 Mbps is equal to 100 Mbps, try to know the difference. Okay, so here are some differences there. So analog bandwidth is measured in hertz. Okay, so hertz means your frequency line hertz. Okay, digital Mbps is measured in bit. How many bits are there? Okay, many bits. So this is megahertz, this is megabits. So try to know, this is hertz means cycle per second, and this is bit per second, okay? And what is this big bit? Big B. What is this big B?
Bytes.
Megabyte.
What is byte? What is byte?
8-bit
1024
function.
8-bit. Okay, so if it is 100 Mbps, means you have to divide it 8, then you can get the real BPS. Okay, so something like that. So this is not the same. Try to write down the real things, because these are the general knowledge. Otherwise you will be in trouble, and this kind of question can be asked in the interview board. This is a tricky question. If you know in your life once, you can answer. If you do not know it once, you will be in a very embarrassing position. Okay, so this is the last slide for today's class. I believe it was interesting, though so many keywords are there. I try to make everything interesting, like everything I try to express in an interesting way, so that you don't have to memorize. Okay, because otherwise if I ask you to read, and if I ask that this question will be in the exam, that time you will just memorize and vomit. It's not like a memorization thing. Believe me, all the things are happening in millisecond, microsecond, nanosecond, and all the things are happening the device created by us. So this is like it. Just feel proud. Okay, so the class take a treat from me to be a part of this family. Okay, thank you. Yes. Which slide?
Can you please repeat this last slide again?
Oh, last slide. Oh, really?
Yeah, this part. Yeah.
Okay, so sometimes the student make really confusion regarding the word bandwidth. If anyone said that, what is bandwidth? Because in the interview word, you will be asked that what is bandwidth? The smartest student then reply, sir, could you please mention in which bandwidth definition I have to give? Do I have to give analog bandwidth definition or digital bandwidth definition? This is the case. Okay. Otherwise, if you say that bandwidth means this will not. Okay. So there are two kinds of bandwidths. In the analog bandwidth, we measure everything in hertz. We call this one as cycle per second. So the hertz means, you know, that cycle per second means what? From that to that, this is 1 lambda. Okay, this is 1 cycle per second. So for here I have 1 lambda, one kind of lambda, and for that I have another kind of lambda. Okay, so because of that we have different kind of bandwidth and different kind of things. Okay, so we have different kind of measurement in analog bandwidth. Okay, in hertz, and in the digital bandwidth we measure everything in 0 1 0 1. Okay, how many 0 1s are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, so if it is 8, we can say that 8 bandwidth is there. Okay, so in what about? Okay, so in 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, you can see 8. Okay, so in my computer is 8. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So this is actually digital bandwidth, so not the same as before. Okay, so because of that I said that what is analog and what is digital bandwidth. So because of that, 100 Mbps, 100 megahertz is not equal to 100 Mbps, because these are two different things. And also this Mbps is small b means 1 bit. 1 bit. 1 bit means 1 electron. Okay, and big B means byte. Okay, so 1 byte means 8 bit. So this is the case. I don't know that whether I wrote everything in my. So 1 bit means, so here 100 small BPS means 100 divided by 8, whatever the value will be, is that much Mbps. Okay, this is not the correct. I believe that it's like you understood. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so If he does not have any question, maybe I will finish the class for today. And sometime, I don't know, Sears, I don't know about the next week. What happened in the next week? Next week will be the Eid week. Will there be any class? Sears.
Sir, 19 to 25th July, Eid vacation.
Okay, so this week we'll have, so the day after tomorrow we'll have one class, okay? And somebody requested me regarding some thesis and other things, okay? And somebody asked me that how to choose the thesis and other subject as well, okay? So I don't know, but this last year, not this year, last 2019, I was the chairman of the undergrad thesis chairman of EEE department, and that time I make one a guideline for the student. I don't know whether your teachers are giving those kind of guideline or not, but during that time I asked every teacher to give some teacher guideline things like who are taking which kind of research or not. So in the next class, maybe I will discuss little bit of research topic, because it will be before the Eid vacation. So please remind me in the next class, not today, regarding the research, how to choose the research topic, what is research, and what is why it is important for engineers, why it is not important for the diploma engineers, why it is important for your courses. So that kind of things we may discuss, okay? So that it will be easier for you to choose your subject, something like that, okay? So till then, if you don't have any kind of question or query, I should finish today's class. Is it okay?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll finish today's class. Okay, thank you very much. Please take care and pray for me, my family. I'll pray for you and your family. Thank you very much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.